to perish or to learn.
Pamela Geller, Atlas Shrugged, so good to talk to you. How are you?
Hey, Jamie. I'm very well, but I am very concerned with this latest fiction that the left-wing media is spinning about quote-unquote fake news.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, very dangerous. The idea that they have created many of these sites like the National Report, the Baltimore Gazette. They pose as conservative sites, and they create fake news. And I originally thought when I would see these sites that they were, a tool to discredit the conservative blogosphere or, news on the Internet, because people would pick it up and, the stories were fake. But the idea that they're going to try and police these fake news sites, Google,
right,
and
Facebook, yeah.
I mean, this to me is really scary because, as you know, now that they're completely out of power, the left is completely out of power. They have absolutely nothing to do except destroy the president and destroy what he's trying to do. And what I love about Trump is he's just now leapfrogging over the media. He's going directly to Facebook. He's posting his latest ideas, his speeches. I hope that he has a content corner on either the White House news site or his own news site, Donald J. Trump, so that we could pick up news stories. But this, I mean, during, I guess it was the Civil War in the 1800s, there were hundreds and hundreds of newspapers for a penny. It was called the penny press. And there was a lot of what was called yellow journalism. There was a lot of editorializing. I mean, this idea that you don't like what someone is saying or you don't like what someone is producing, this is so frightening to me. Oh, and I don't know if you heard, but Obama is toying with the idea of coming out with Obama Media.
Yeah, of course.
Doesn't he know it exists? It's called the New York Times.
Yeah, right. CBS News, ABC, CBS, NBC. Now, let me ask you this, though, and it's interesting because what you're hitting on here is really what is a conspiracy among the mainstream media, which has lost all of its credibility, to basically attempt to erase and get rid of alternative sources of information. PamelaGeller.com, AtlasShrugs.com, Breitbart, you name it, Hot Air, whoever. They'll continue to focus on this because they're waging this fake war against fake news. And you know what happens is I'm reading some of these articles, and what they use as an example is like the Weekly World Reader or whatever the heck that is, where, it's like Hillary Clinton gives birth to an alien. And we know that's not what they're talking about. What they're really going after are people like you and Breitbart and other individuals.
Absolutely, particularly now that the people, in light of this election, really don't trust the media. And, I mean, my numbers have skyrocketed, and so they see this as a real danger. They see the truth is a real danger. But my question is, if a blogger or let's say a news writer gets a story wrong, does that designate him or her as fake news? And if that's the case, they'll have to shut down the New York Times and the LA Times and the Boston Globe and ABC, NBC. I mean, they get things wrong all the time.
Oh, and they'll stop.
And who decides?
Right, and they'll stop at nothing. I mean, in one case, there was a reporter here at the Post-Dispatch in St. Louis. She did a story on how to teach your kids to discern the difference between fake news and real news. I go, oh, here we go. And she goes, make sure they always use their sources. And it's interesting because part of her article, the hallmark of the beginning of the article stated, recent studies have shown fake news and blah, blah, blah. And you know who the source was? BuzzFeed. And they didn't even mention it. Unbelievable.
Listen, the fact is Facebook has too much power, but by banning fake news, I mean, this is how they are addressing the fact that they have enormous influence and power. That's Zuckerberg's fix it. I think Facebook should be broken up. Like Ma Bell was broken up. I think Google has too much power. They should be broken up. They don't get to decide what we see. They don't get to decide what's good and what's forbidden. This is what left-wing fascists do, and we must not allow this ruse, to continue. I find it this to me, of everything that's flying through the air, this to me is absolutely the most dangerous. This is so typical of the left elite. They control policy. They want to control the media. They control the culture. But you see what happened in this election, Jamie? They could not control the people. And this makes them crazy. If they could, they would change the people.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about that. That's for sure. And what's interesting too is that ultimately, and as you point out, maybe breaking things up. But you know what? We don't need to do that because already it looks like there's kind of a new Twitter emerging. Have you heard about that one?
Oh, I'm verified on it.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, Gab.ai. I have a few thousand followers on it. Yes, it's a very good thing, and I suggest you and everyone that listens to you jump on there because Twitter is out of control. I mean, with Jack is out of control. The people you see, he's thrown off Milos. Meanwhile, I could show you ISIS accounts that would blow you away and I don't mean in a good way, on Twitter. Again, they always side with the bad guys. It's just that simple. And the right has to stop trying to fight on the defense. No war, and this is a war, Jamie, in the information battle space. No war was ever won in the defensive position. We see what's happening. The left has nothing to do, and they will have nothing to do for the next 4 years. And what they're going to do is try to destroy this president. They're going to go on the attack every single day. Look, they did it to Bush. And remember, Bush retreated. You never saw him.
Oh, yeah.
At some point in his second term, yes, the criticism was withering. Yes, it was, relentless. But he withdrew. And we're on the front lines. We have to protect our flank. We have to protect our man. Listen, this is what I do. It's what you do every day. Thank God for you. But it's going to be at a level that we have not seen before. And this quote-unquote fake news, in order to shut down free speech, that's what this is. This is the left's war on free speech taken to hashtag the next level. Okay?
Well, you know what, Pamela Geller? Thanks to your help and your obviously exposure to what's going on in the world, thanks to your illumination, we've already won one war, so we could certainly win another one. That's for sure.
I have a very good article on this at Breitbart. I suggest you people take a look at it. Your listeners take a look at it. It's a very real threat, and not knowing about it or ignoring it is a recipe for disaster. So people should be aware because it just won't be on the internet. They've been going after talk radio for years.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to go after talk radio and people like yourself. So they're going to step it up now. And if people are aware and they educate those around them in their sphere of influence, we can't lose.
Yeah, and you know what? The Post-Dispatch here tried to do that to my television show. I have a television show called The Allman Report, and they tried to call my show fake news. And you know what I did? I went on my show, and I went after them. And bit by bit, I broke down their smear of me, and I had the voice, and I'll continue to use it, and I'm glad you do too. Pamela Geller, AtlasShrugs.com. Thank you so much, dear.
Hey, Jamie, thanks for having me.